So here I'm gonna make some quick homemade fries. I have a lot of people ask me how to make these, and I've watched a lot of videos, and they seem to make you do an awful lot of steps. So what I do is I take the potatoes and I rinse them off real good, scrub them, and then I leave the skin, everything on them. So I just cut them into small slices like this. Cut out any of the bad black marks on it. And then what I do is I first start off by plugging in the fryer, which I just bought a cheap one off from Amazon. So I turn that on. I got my bowl of cold water. There's just water in it, nothing else. So I cut the fries, just whatever size you want them at. Throw them in the cold water. Okay, watch it, Jacob.
I will eat. Bye-bye.
No, you can eat after the fries are done. My son, of course, loves these, so he already wants to eat them before they're cooked.
I will eat right now. Eat right now. I will eat right now.
No, you gotta wait, honey.
No, I will bye.
One bite.
Yeah.
Okay, go in the other room. So I like to cut them into pieces like this. And I set the fryer temperature at, I set it about 350. And I leave it at that temperature. I don't cook them low. I don't blanch them. I just throw them in cold water after I cut them into small slices. So after I cut them up, I just kind of move them around in the water. The water gets kind of cloudy looking. Once I move them around a little bit, I just take them and dump out the water and kind of rinse them until it looks clear again. So I'm going to just let these sit in the water for maybe 5 minutes before I drain out the water. I'll pat them dry just a little bit with the paper towels and I'll put them in the fryer. So now that I patted dry the fries, I just threw some paper towels in here. kind of dried them out just a little bit. So now what I do is I just throw them in the fryer, and these only sat for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops. When you lower it into the oil, just make sure you go really slow because it will bubble up if you have some water left on them. I just gradually put them in and lift them up and down till the bubbles settle. So I never really time these, but I'm gonna say I go probably maybe 3 to 4 minutes tops for the first cook at 350 degrees. So I'll cook them quick for a few minutes, the first cook, and I like them to come out nice and crispy. So I'll do the 3 to 4 minutes, and then what I do is I take them out, I let them cool for probably 10-15 minutes. Tonight I'm making some hamburgers, so what I'll do is I'll make the hamburgers and get those going on the grill while these are cooling off for a little bit. So if you can let them sit a little longer in between doing things, I think they come out even better. I usually just set them in the sink because the sink's nice and cool. So I'll just take the basket, set the whole basket with the fries in the sink, and let it cool down in there while I start getting the other things together. And then, so in the meantime, while we're letting those sit after they're cooked, we'll come back and cook them twice to make them extra crispy. So now I'm gonna cook these for the second time. The hamburgers are going, they're close to being done, so I figure now's a good time to put the fries in so everything comes out nice and hot. So when you cut these fries, some people will just throw them in the oil and they'll stick together. So that's why when I cut them, I throw them in the water. Because even though they're sitting for only a few minutes, that water really helps keep them from sticking together when they're in the fryer. If you just cut the potato and throw them straight in the fryer without using the water, you're gonna find them sticking together pretty bad actually. So that's the whole reason why I use the water. And when I put these in the oil, I toss them around, shake them, so the oil gets all around them. It keeps them from sticking together. Some people use salt in the water, which is fine. I don't really see much of a difference as far as helping wise, doing the salt or blanching them. I don't think they come out starchy. You know, a lot of people will cut up their fries, they'll soak them in water, or they'll peel them, and they just do a lot of steps, you know. With me having a 3-year-old, and when we want to eat dinner, we're hungry. We don't want to sit there and take forever to cook some fries. That should take a few minutes. So I would say from start to finish, really. I mean, you could have these fries done within, probably a half hour if you're cooking other things. So I always start these first, so the cool off period, they can sit a little bit longer while I cook the rest of the meal. And then I do the second cook right before the rest of the meal's done, so everything comes out hot together. So after this is done, we'll throw them in a pan. I have a pan right here actually, with some paper towels in it. So I'll just toss them in the pan soon as they're done cooking. When they're nice and hot, fresh out of the oil, I'll throw some salt on them, toss them around a little bit, and they're good to go. So I've had these fries cooking, I'd say maybe 4 minutes tops. I just cook them till I think they look good. I like them a lot crispier than maybe some people do, but I don't like them where you pick them up and they're soggy and bend over when you even touch them. And I just like them to be nice and solid, nice crispy fries. So I'll throw them in my pan. Oh man, those look good. I like to use sea salt, like a fine sea salt or kosher salt on them. So I'll just pour a little bit of salt on them. After I throw some salt on them, just grab some tongs here. Toss them around a little bit. Coat them. Man, these look good. These are awesome too. If you want to put some gravy and cheese or something on them, they're so good. But look at how these come out. I mean, they're nice and crispy, still soft in the middle. Nice crunch to them. Come out perfect every time. I'd much rather have these homemade fries over the restaurant fries any day. They just come out so good. Once you try making these at home like this, I don't think you want fries any other way. That's basically how you do it. So here are the hamburgers that I made on the pellet smoker while I was cooking the fries. Man, these look fantastic. Maybe I'll do a video on these, how to make some burgers. They're pretty simple to make, obviously. So, but if anybody wants to see how I make those, I can also post a video of those. So this is it. Some homemade fries and some cheeseburgers for tonight off the pellet smoker. This is how it all came out. Thanks for watching.